There's always something ag-related happening across our hometowns. I've been doing some digging and I've got some gems to show you today. Hi there, I'm Niecy Payne and I'm so glad you're joining me for Grown Here at Home. Let's start in Franklin County, where one middle school teacher is doing whatever it takes to ensure her kids succeed. You see, several years ago, she took a risk and it worked. And what she decided to do back then is still going strong today. In Jennifer Hatch's 7th grade math class at Benjamin Franklin Middle School in Rocky Mount, not every lesson comes from a textbook. Some are coming from this hydroponics garden.
The kids will tell you, I cannot stand workbooks, I cannot stand worksheets. And if I'm bored, I tell them they're bored. They've got to be bored. So we have got to put it down and let's put it into real life and real practice, and let's enjoy learning and enjoy coming to school.
Several years ago, Miss Hatch started the garden because she had to find a way to reach a group of kids who had no interest in learning about math. And it's still going strong today. Nick Mitchell was part of that class. He's now in 10th grade. That's him back in the day.
I always was getting in trouble, but when she came along and brought this, I'd always was able to stay out of the hallways, stay out from trouble, and be able to help her out, and it kind of took my mind off of everything else.
Some of the lessons challenge the students to problem solve, like figuring out why the microgreens don't look so good and what they can do next time to make it better.
I think it's fun, interactive, it gets people up, because like doing math all day, it's fun, but like doing other stuff like this, as I said, it's more interactive, makes things more interesting.
The kids want to show up to class every day. Otherwise, they might miss out on what's growing.
When we started the hydroponics, we put the seeds in little foam cups, acting as the soil, and we put them in a dark place, which acts like them being underground. And we did that so they would grow up to the lights, as they would be in the ground, growing up to the sun.
We had to be more interactive with it and check up on it more. So it was a little more hands-on than just planting it in the ground.
The students are making predictions, collecting data, and even making dishes with what they've grown. It's all math. And while Miss Hatch is the expert in the classroom when it comes to math, that's not the case when it comes to the gardening part, which is the beauty of it.
With the garden and the agricultural stuff, I don't know a thing. So I'm just so grateful for their teaching me and for them stepping up, and they get to run it. They're the stars.
Showing up to class, learning the lessons, and seeing how math applies to everyday life, looks like Miss Hatch found a formula that works. Talk about a risk worth the reward. Great job, Miss Hatch. And there's more great work happening in Montgomery County, where a grant is helping to give back in more ways than one, not only putting money back into our local farms, but feeding those in need. At the Agape Center in Montgomery County, farmers are showing up with beef and produce that will benefit local families. Virginia Cooperative Extension and the YMCA at Virginia Tech work together to get state funding to invest in Montgomery County's farmers and families in need. The Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services awarded the initiative a total of $150,000. Meredith Hoggett is an extension agent for Montgomery County.
I wasn't expecting to get this grant. I found it a month before it was due. So then when I did get it, I was like, okay, let's go. We've got a lot of work to do.
Using the grant, they're purchasing from 11 producers in the county. One of them is R&F Farms. Co-owner Rob LaFawn is dropping off 280 pounds of beef.
They're getting no antibiotic feeds, no steroids in the animals, and they're raised out in the open pasture fields and not in a feedlot with a huge amount of extra vaccinations and implants in them. We enjoy participating and helping the community.
7 organizations are recipients of the food. The Agape Center is one of them and is also the distribution hub.
They've been really instrumental in making sure that we have the storage capacity for the beef, because we're getting around at least 1,000, sometimes we get up to 1,500 pounds of beef at one time, and that's a lot of freezer space.
The farmers drop off the food at the Agape Center, and from there, the organizations receiving the food will pick up their portion and take it back to their food pantries. Ryan Martin is the CEO of the YMCA at Virginia Tech.
We actually take the food and then we prepare fresh meals, and those meals go out to our food insecure children in the area. We're actually providing about 40 meals a day to those individuals, and this has been a really, really great project to help us make that available and possible.
Once all the grant funding is used, about 14,600 pounds of ground beef and 16,000 pounds of produce will have been purchased from local producers, supporting at least 700 families in Montgomery County each month. That's a cause doing a lot of good. I love stories like that. And this next one is extra special too, because when you think of a butcher, a woman probably doesn't come to mind, right? Data shows 36% of women make up the meat processing industry. The low representation of women isn't stopping the ladies you'll see today. In fact, it's empowering them. Lacey Fleener is a third-generation farmer and a graduate of the AgTech program at Virginia Tech. While pursuing her degree, she worked at the meat lab on campus. Today, she helps manage her family's meat processing plant in Washington County, but she wasn't always sold on that idea.
So I guess that kind of sparked my interest, was working at the meat lab. And then I guess that kind of started it all.
You see, the year Lacey started working at the meat lab, it was a unique one.
My first, I guess, semester, it was all women working there. There was no men. It was an all women team. And the lady that used to be over the meat lab, Jordan Wicks, she is an inspiration. That's all I can say. She is probably the reason that I decided to stay with it. She's an amazing woman.
Dr. Wicks is now an assistant professor and meat extension specialist at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. She remembers that year well.
We were all women that year, Lacey's very first year, and we harvested cattle from start to finish. We harvested beef, pork, lamb. We broke some of our records in sales that year. It was a big moment in my life. It was something I look back on and remember it being like, wow, I can't believe we did that. All the equipment was, developed for tall, strong men, and we figured out ways to do it together as a team. And we never slipped. We never faltered. We just kept moving forward and kind of knocking down the next barrier.
Lacey and the other ladies were showing up for themselves and each other. It wasn't about keeping men out, but about proving that they can occupy the same space in the industry.
Lacey was really there and was really inspired by some of the older girls that had been there before her. She was able to train new ones coming in.
I never thought I'd be into this, but I really don't think I could choose a different career. It's amazing.
I have a feeling Lacey is going to do some big things in her career. You go, girl. So what did you think? They were gems, right? And there's plenty more where that came from. I hope you'll meet me back here next time for Grown Here at Home.